Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are so excited to have Cheryl Edinbyrd joining us here again, live on the show, as well as on our Zoom cast. She's the owner and operator of the Tree of Life Birth Counseling and Wellness Center. She has many hats to wear, and she's here really helping so many people. Let me have her do her introduction live from Dallas, Texas. How are you?
I am doing absolutely amazing. Thank you so very much for having me on today. Yes, my name is Dr. Cheryl Edinbyrd. I am a licensed professional counselor supervisor. I'm also a licensed midwife at the Tree of Life Birth Counseling and Wellness Center. We also focus on eradicating maternal morbidity and mortality rates. And so we focus on that under our nonprofit, in which we allow women to have care at low to no cost. So there's not a reason that these women can't be taking care of mind, body, and spirit. And so I'm super happy to be here today to share a little bit about the midwifery model of care.
Perfect. Would love to hear more. But before we do, tell us how we can reach you. What is your website and forms of contact?
Absolutely. My website is the Tree of Life, Birth Counseling and Wellness Center.com. You can also reach me at Completely Fit, a healthy lifestyle.com. I also can be reached at 214-912-2614. My email is Tree of Life Wellness Center, DFW at gmail.com. And you can also reach me on my socials at Tree of a Life BCW and completely _midwifery_care.
Beautiful. Well, thank you again for being here. So let's get started. Tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Absolutely. I started out as a licensed professional counselor, and I started a private practice. And in caring for families, I was asked to kind of move into spaces with mothers that had anxiety in the birth space. And I was not comfortable with that. I wasn't comfortable with it from an academic perspective. And I just wasn't comfortable with it because I just didn't think, I was like, no, I don't want to do that. But working with people and realizing that I have a big heart of meeting people where they are, I was interested in learning a little bit more about it. And so I did a doula training. And I love education, so I didn't have a problem with paying for something that I wanted to see if I wanted to explore. After paying for that doula training and actually going to the hospital with these mothers and being in this space with them and realizing what they are faced with, some of the space of not being heard, people not being able to connect with you on the level you're on, I decided to become a midwife. And so it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing.
Now, for those out there who are maybe really new to all this, what is a midwife? How could you be of service? Could you just share a little bit about what that is?
Absolutely. So the word midwife actually means being with woman. And so as a midwife, I am what you would equate to an OB, without the OB degree, of course. I studied at the American Texas Midwifery School. I apprenticed at 7 different birth centers in the DFW area. And then I became licensed, I sat for the state of Texas. And so what does midwifery care consist of? It consists of clients coming in for a consultation. I'm really big on connection and energy. And so we just see if we're a good fit for one another, right? It's not one of those things where you come in, you have insurance, and then we go, right? Actually, the mothers that come in do not have insurance because in the state of Texas, midwifery isn't recognized as it should be. However, women come in their first trimester. We do all of their prenatal work, their lab work. We make sure that baby and mama is okay. We do the labor, the birth, immediate postpartum, and then we see them up to 6 weeks after they've had their baby. So women that come into care with me, they come into their prenatal care, and they go all the way through their postpartum care without seeing another healthcare provider, because as their midwife, that's what I am. And so I just kind of work with families. We've had situations where dads had no idea about the physiological processes of birth, and then they can sit there and tell you, oh my gosh, I didn't know she went through all that. They can appreciate it a little bit more. They can be more included into it. And so we just take a huge family approach and meet families where they are.
I love it. And
Yep.
clearly you love what you do. And
Absolutely.
the Tree of Life Birth Counseling Wellness, we're talking here if you're just tuning in with our friend Cheryl in regards to the work she's doing and how she can help you. Now, you're based in the Dallas, Texas area, correct?
Correct. I'm based in the Dallas, Texas area. We're more of, I serve the full DFW area, but our office is located in what you would consider the South Dallas or East Dallas part of Dallas.
Perfect. But you do work with people virtually as well, right?
I absolutely do. I've even had, so as a therapist, I have clients in other states. And so I do virtual work. I love doing face to face because, of course, there's nothing like that energetic connection. But again, meeting people where they are. I have some clients in Dallas that still are struggling with, some of the COVID hangover, and they're still taking precautions, and I can understand and respect that as well, you know.
Wow. Wow. Well, we are excited to have you here and to talk more about the work you're doing. Do you want to share any, examples of clients that you're working with and the benefits of what you do for someone? Because
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've worked with clients who have had currently up to 2 cesarean sections and who actually want to see if they can have a TOAC, and that's a trial of labor after cesarean. They've been told by the healthcare facilities that, oh, you need a repeat cesarean, and they're wanting to see if their bodies can do what they believe they can. And so we've had beautiful VBACs, vaginal births after cesareans, which have been amazing. But to do that work, it does
I was
require,
going to say, I thought that's not possible. You see, you're teaching
oh
me
yeah,
something. See, that's what the doctors say.
absolutely.
Once you have a C-section, you can't.
Oh yeah, not true. Not true. I have several moms who have celebrated actually with tears of joy, right? Something that they've been told they couldn't do. And then some that have a little bit of regret and feel a little remorseful over the fact that they didn't take a little more autonomy of their care, which is what we really focus on, informed consent, and actually letting families know that you are the person that's in charge. Like, you are the master of your ship. You are the person that gets to dictate what happens to you. You know better than anybody. When we go to the doctor, right, we have to tell them exactly what's going on with us,
Yeah.
the diagnosis, right? So
Yeah.
we know exactly what is going on with us. And then sometimes when we go in, we're not heard, right? People don't listen. And so another real important part is respecting the intricacy of the natural physiologics of childbirth, respecting the families and their
Yeah.
culture, And so that's what we do. We protect, we support, we educate, we advocate for, the normal process of labor for moms. And these moms are amazing because, again, it's unmedicated. So your mind has to be set, right? Your
It
mind has.
totally does. Absolutely. Well, see, I've had two vaginal births, and
Mhm.
then after the fact, I can't be honest with you. I
Uh-huh.
never knew that my regular doctor, okay, my family, no one ever told me this was possible. Days
Uh-huh.
after I gave birth to my first child, I'm looking and I'm like, what is this? What's hanging out of me? Oh, that's
Uh,
your uterus. Oh, that's your cervix. Oh, that's your bladder. I'm like, what?
Mhm.
This thing called prolapse? But,
Mhm.
like, I just like, no one ever gave me the whole picture, the
Yeah.
whole, like, this could happen. Maybe we could do
Yes.
exercises, babies, things happen, but I
Yes.
learned, like, "Oh my goodness." And
Absolutely.
then I had to see the doctor, did proper exercises and stimulation, and had another child, same thing happened. So clearly
Mhm.
one day I'll need a surgery, but
Yeah.
I was lucky to
Yeah.
have two vaginal births. But I mean, there's so much that, I mean, you, I'm sure, share with your clients, not,
Uh-huh.
and what I have to say this, but when you go to the doctor, there's a different experience because you're
Absolutely.
one of many. They can't answer all your questions. They don't have the time.
Absolutely.
And I understand that. But
Absolutely.
so, I mean, another benefit of having someone like yourself, you're there, talk,
Absolutely.
like you're not going to push your client away because you have another patient coming in. Yeah.
I just had a client call me this morning at 7 o'clock. She's like, "Oh, I just threw up and there was a little blood there," but she's been coughing and her esophagus is irritated. So we talked through those kind of things,
Yeah.
right? And then we go over things like baby still moving. Are you feeling any pain? Then your body physiologically is still normal. There's something else going on that's unrelated to pregnancy. And it calmed her down. It allowed her to go over things and go, well, yeah, that probably happened. And then also I did drink something red. So it's like all of these things come together. And in your situation, after a mom has her baby, we're in her home, or they're at the birth center, right? And when we're in the home, a couple of things we do for discharge, like we make sure that, the mom has had an herbal bath, right? We make sure there's no tears. If it is, I take care of that. If she's hemorrhaged, I make sure that bleeding is under control. But one of the biggest things we do before we leave is we really sit down, and a lot of times on the bed, because we're telling her, stay here. This is how it should look when people come visit you. They should come and sit right here at your feet while you're right here with your baby. So we kind of give an example of what things need to look like when we leave as we're giving discharge. And one of the discharge instructions is, if you feel anything heavy down there, to call me. And I've gone and I've helped people with prolapse cervix or prolapse. Just push it on back up in there, hold it, manage it, assess it, things like that. And just making sure we're doing it in a sterile environment, right? Not to introduce infection. But all those things are really important. And even for me, you're absolutely right. I feel like the hospitals are for emergencies, right? And so because they have so much more going on outside of emergencies, they're needing to operate a little differently when it's not an emergency, right? So an emergency is a rush, it's urgent. So when you go in, you're going to be rushed, it's urgent. But a lot of times it's important to acknowledge that labor is a natural process. And if you go into the hospital, expect to be rushed, right? But for me as a midwife, I take no more than, the most I've had a month has been 4. Accidentally 5 a month as clients, because I want to be able to give them that individualized care, right? I want to be able to educate them appropriately. I want to be able to answer the phone when they call me or reply to a text. So I literally limit it. 2 to 3 really is optimal for me a month, so that I can give them that undivided attention, right? That they so need. They so need.
Now, also, can I just ask you the difference? And I'm sure maybe some of our listeners are interested in this, in a doula and a midwife. Could you share? Thank you.
Absolutely. So the doula is like the mental muscle, like that person that's gonna, you can do this. She's gonna teach you comfort measures. She's gonna work with you and your partner on ways to help support you during this process, right? The midwife is more of the medical muscle, right? She's gonna come in with all of the things for low risk, no risk, where, she's coming in, we have the Doppler, blood pressure, thermometer, but then also there is the birth assist that comes along with the midwife, who brings the emergency equipment like the DeLees and the oxygen and things like that. And so the difference is, you have your doula, who is there to support you mentally, and then you have your midwife, who is there to support you from more of a medical, not a medical model, a midwifery model of care. So you have your mental, and then you have your physical, right? But it is important to have both. I am about mind, body, and spirit. And so in our organization, we actually have a team. So usually midwives are kind of solo. They'll have someone that they call in for a birth assist. But on staff, I'm the midwife. I have a student midwife, a birth assist, a doula. And then we have resources, right? We have herbalists, and I have a chef that I refer clients to for like food prep, stuff like that. People that are struggling with eating, some of my vegetarian mamas or my vegan mamas who really need to focus on protein, they get with the dietitians. And then we have people like pelvic floor specialists for postpartum. So all of those things are important: chiropractic care, massage. And so those are integral parts of the emotional piece, so that as a midwife, when I come in, it's easy on the mother, right? And the work isn't so difficult on the midwife.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for that. All right. Thank you so much. All right. What else did you want to share with everyone? Actually, we're about halfway through. I would love for you to just to remind everyone how we can reach you.
Absolutely. My name is Dr. Cheryl Edinbyrd. You can reach me at 214-912-2614. You can also visit my website, the Tree of Life Wellness Center.com. And you can also visit us at wearecompletelyfit.org. You can also reach us on our socials, Tree of Life BCW and completely_fit_midwifery_care on Instagram.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. What else did you want to discuss for today? And what do you think is beneficial for us to learn about more about you, your services, your team? I mean, there's so much to you, the maternal health and wellness, the body health and wellness. So I'll let
Absolutely.
you take the reins. Go ahead.
Absolutely. One of the other key important parts of this work that we do is we always focus on respecting the autonomy of the individual. That empowers them, that creates a confidence in them to do any and all things, whether it be maternal or mental wellness, right? We respect the beneficence, we respect the non-maleficence, and we respect justice. And so we truly focus on that when we're working with individuals, right? We monitor the physiological, the physical, and the well-being of family, right?
Mm-hmm.
Throughout this process, whether it be maternal or mental health, they complement each other for me so well, because without the counseling piece, the midwifery piece becomes hard, because it's important to be able to counsel our moms on all kinds of things. I mean, in this profession, it's important to do it for the right reasons, right? Because I've worked with families who have single mothers, right? Domestic violence. We've been having to navigate like a birth plan surround
Yeah.
things like that, you know? So it's important to understand that when you're working with people, this is not a job for me. It's personal.
Got it. Well, we love it because you clearly love what you do and you're bringing so much to the table for so many people. And just to, with maternal wellness, I'm assuming mostly that's hands-on, right? Because you're
Absolutely.
what the virtual aspect of your work, then are we talking more the mind, body? What type of as a licensed healthcare
Absolutely.
professional, what do you do for people in New York, or what can you do for
Right.
us?
So I've had individuals who have come into care with me. When it comes to licensed professional counseling, that's just a confidential. I use Simple Practice, and we schedule our appointments and we meet. Right now, I do have some clients who have been out of state that are pregnant, and so what we did for one of my clients that was in Florida, she had to get things like a Doppler and a blood pressure cuff. So she had her initial appointment, and she was coming back and forth, right? So she had her initial appointment, she got all of her supplies, and then we would do the same thing. We would do a confidential call. I would have her place things. We would listen to baby, all those different things. But then the next month, she would come here. And then when it was time for her to have the baby, she came here, got an Airbnb. I have gone and flown and done things out of state, but it just requires arranging it, right? So it happens. It's just about sitting down and having a conversation, because for me, it's important to do whatever needs to be done that will lead to better outcomes and care for the women out here, that would lower the stillbirth rate, that will lower chances of preterm birth, that will lower chances of problems during prenatal. I mean, we have mothers that are dying at a high rate, prenatal and postnatal. And so we need to be able to step in and figure out, how do we eradicate this mortality and morbidity?
Got it. I mean, and you're also specializing in things like people that, are addicted to drugs, right? Anger
Absolutely.
management, depression,
Mhm.
stress,
Mhm.
all these different types of things, even
Mhm.
eating disorders, marital disorders. So you really,
Absolutely.
there's a big, you encompass a lot.
Yes, yes. So as a licensed chemical dependency counselor, I
Hmm.
do. That stemmed from growing up watching the destruction of chemicals, right? All, not just illicit drugs, but over the counter, prescribed, and then just realizing that people are seeking ways to find some comfort, right? To heal. And my goal is to teach people that you already have that within you. You just have to tap within, right? We want to run. No one wants to sit with what's going to heal them, and that's themselves, right? Because it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But having someone there with you to say, hey, I'll sit with you. And I know it's uncomfortable, but what do you really want? We're all faced with two hearts, even with life being where it is for me, right? It was the heart of getting up this morning to meet you, right? Or
Exactly.
sleeping another hour or two. It's about what is going to manifest for you in your life, the things that you really and truly want. How do you go out and make that happen? We're not happy because things don't feel right for us. Well, first of all, have you explored what does that really look like for you?
Yeah.
Start taking those small steps to get there, right? You don't eat if I see an elephant, I'm gonna be like, oh my goodness, right? But if someone said, oh, all you gotta do is touch this spot and then slowly touch this spot and then slowly touch this spot, then I can wrap my mind around embracing this elephant. You tell me, go hug this elephant. It's too much. It's too big, right? But if you say, oh, no, all you do is first you touch this part. And then once you feel comfortable there, you move on to that and you build your confidence. And before you know it, you're going to be hugging the elephant like you hug a tree, right?
It's so true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just about helping people realize that it doesn't have to be big and scary. You can break that thing down.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. We still got 5 minutes left here. What else did you want to share with us?
I just want to share that we all need to be accountable for our well-being, right? If we all can be accountable for our well-being and all understand that it is okay to be uniquely and beautifully different, our world becomes such a better place. And so I'm here just trying to shine light on the fact that our uniqueness is beautiful. We need to celebrate it. We need to come together, support one another. And the way I do that is through mental and maternal wellness, sharing with the world that we have the capacity to have and be whatever we want. It's just a matter of sitting still with ourselves, being a little uncomfortable. I always say sometimes we get very comfortable with our discomfort, right? But the only way for us to move is to be challenged, to be stretched, right? And that is going to be uncomfortable. So sometimes I find myself in very uncomfortable situations and I have to stop and ask myself when I want to give up, wait a minute, isn't this making you stronger? Isn't it making you better? And that's what I share with people, right? Whether it's maternal wellness, because that is a tough one,
Yeah.
physically and emotionally, or whether it's addiction, which is really tough. And whether it's addicted to eating food, not eating food, drugs, whatever it is, gambling, sex, whatever it is a hold on you. And we're free
So
beings.
is. It so is.
We're free beings. And so let's learn to fly free instead
Mm-hmm.
of fly. We don't have to fly high. let's learn,
Uh-huh.
let's learn to fly free.
And by the way, just to point out, you also accept some insurance as well. Some is out of pocket, some is right. Can you share that aspect of it? Someone saying, well, can I
Absolutely.
afford this type of, yeah.
Absolutely. With midwifery care, it is a luxury. So it is out of pocket. Like I said, the state of Texas does not.
Mm-hmm.
However, there is a biller that has been beautiful enough to, she doesn't partner with me, but after moms have babies, she tries to do the out of network reimbursement. But the fee for midwifery care is minimal. There's a deposit. You can make a payment plan. We work those things out. But for the mental health, we accept Blue Cross Blue Shield,
Mm-hmm.
United Healthcare.
Yeah.
We also accept Medicaid. So we accept Superior and we currently accept Molina. So
Wow.
if you have those insurances, absolutely. I've even had some families who have switched insurance when it comes to Medicaid. With Medicaid, it takes 45 days for them to switch it over to a preferred provider, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And then also, it's just also a matter of sitting down and talking to your insurance company. If it's maternal wellness, sitting down and talking to them and just saying, hey, this is what I prefer. Listen, let them work for you. I think that we've gotten into a place where, again, the autonomy is so far removed. We don't understand if we're paying for something, we ought to be able to ask for what we need.
Yeah.
right?
So true. Yeah.
Why passively sit back and allow things to happen to you? The key is to make things happen.
Yes. Interesting. All right. Well, thank you so much. And how did you want to end off for today?
I just want to end off for today in saying be in good health, be wealthy in mind, body, and spirit. If there's anything I can do, please feel free to reach out. Dr. Cheryl Edinbyrd, 214-912-2614. I am at the Tree of Life Birth Counseling and Wellness Center. I have a beautiful team of therapists, a beautiful team of birth workers. You can also reach us at wearecompletelyfit.org or the Tree of Life Birth Counseling and Wellness Center.com. I look forward to being able to serve any and everyone. And so I look forward to hearing from you.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Looking forward to the next time we connect. And thank you for all the information, as always. Cheryl, it's a pleasure having you here. One more time, tell us the website.
The Tree of Life Wellness Center. The Tree of Life Wellness Center.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And also on social media, we can find you as well, right?
Absolutely. You can find us at the Tree of Life BCW on Instagram and completely_fit_midwifery_care.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. You do the same.
Great seeing you, beautiful. Thank you so much. Really. Bye-bye. I love the personal one-on-one connection now. And not that we didn't connect on the phone, but just to see you is just
absolutely.
Thank you for bringing your energy and light with us. Bye-bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.